What's going on, guys? I'm back again with another video. So today, as the title says, I'm gonna be unboxing KTuner, and I'm gonna be showing you guys how to set it up so you guys can be able to see the app on your head unit and you can be able to see all your gauge readings. So that is pretty dope. Also, I'm gonna explain the whole process and everything. So let's jump right into the video. So here is the KTuner. There's two types of KTuner. There's KTuner version 1.2, which I have, and then there's also KTuner version, I believe 2.2, which is basically a whole little screen where everything is touchscreen and you can see the gauges on the touchscreen. I went with the version 0.12. I got an awesome deal on this. I know the person that I got this from is probably watching the channel. Shout out to you, David. Thank you, I appreciate it. I went with the version 1.2. Guys, there's two different tuning platforms for this car. There is KTuner and then there is Honda. Honda is what I have on my 8th-gen Honda Civic SI. With KTuner, you can, without even touching the ECU at all, or I guess jailbreaking the ECU and stuff like that, you can actually still get the gauge readings and everything. So it works like a OB2 dongle where you can get your codes and readings and stuff like that. So as you guys know, I just got my car. Of course I don't want to tune nothing right away, so I still got to break it in and stuff like that. So this is the perfect time. So Honda, you cannot do that. So there's KTuner. Honda is the other tuning solution. There's Motec, which that's a whole different ECU, standalone ECU, and then you can see everything that you touch. But the main two tuning software is KTuner and Honda. And Honda, it does not allow you to see the gauge readings unless you hack the ECU. But KTuner, you have the ability. You can still get all your gauge readings, which is pretty dope. So here's KTuner. You open up the box. Inside there, you get your cable. Looks like that connects to the back of the KTuner, and then you got some stickers. That's pretty dope. This is the KTuner. It's an OB2 dongle. You plug it's like a little slot back there. You plug it in, as you guys can see. Yeah, there you go. And you just plug this in, and it has Bluetooth capabilities to basically connect to the app of your head unit, and you can get all your gauge readings. So that is pretty dope. So let's jump into the car. Yeah, you connect to the wireless first. So the first thing you go to is the home, and then you go to settings, and then you go to Bluetooth Wi-Fi, and then you make sure that it's turned on. Mine's is already turned on. Then you go to Wi-Fi, and then you go to Wi-Fi device list, and then you find your Wi-Fi and put the password in. All right, so now that we connect to the Wi-Fi, you have to connect to the browser. So to get to the browser, you gotta hold the 3 buttons together.
Yep. So be the brightness, phone, and volume for 2019s and 2020 Type Rs.
Okay.
Okay. So now here you click detail and settings, and then hold the phone button down for 2019s and 2020 Type Rs.
So I'm holding it down.
Or regular Civics. Okay. So now you have to scroll down to special function settings. So special function settings, and then you will click cancel Android restrictions. You can click it like a lot of times. Okay, so now you go to the home button, home screen. Sorry, you have to go back. Click the buttons. Okay, so now the browser feature should be open. Click app list, browser. Okay, so now the browser feature's back up. So to download Ktunerview, go to the browser here, and you can literally just Google Ktunerview, and you'll go to the Civic X forum for it. So you want to download the Ktunerview APK file. So it's either their website or, there we go. So KTuner website, or there's also the Civic X forum website. As long as you get the APK file, and now it's downloading. And this is an Android head unit, so you can check how it's downloading right there. So okay. Complete. Click it, and yes, just click next.
Cool.
And that's it. Let's open it up. Ktunerview. And there you go.
Cool.
And plug your KTuner in and you're good to go.
Alright guys, so this is how the KTuner looks plugged into the OBD2 port. It's not going to get in your way getting in and out of the car. And of course, the KTuner is just going to sit here and it's always going to be plugged in, so it can have the Bluetooth connection read into the Ktunerview app that's on the head unit. So that's how it looks. You plug in the USB cable that it comes with into the back of there, and then the USB part plugs into the laptop. So we're going to get the laptop and I'm going to plug this into it. So it comes with this cord. Plug it into there and then into the laptop. I'm gonna do that real quick. All right guys, so Jimmy, super dope, let me use his laptop so we can make sure everything is good. Shout out to Jimmy, he let me use his laptop real quick. He went to go grab something real quick. So he has KTuner his laptop already, so you have to enable the BT pin for version 1.2. Let's see, you click next, I'm gonna register it. So as long as you guys do those steps, the tuning, then go to version 1.2 special commands. As you guys can see, tuning, version 1.2 special commands, then you want to go to enable BT pin code advance. You want to go to that one. All right, so we're gonna click that. Are you sure? So we click yes. Now we got to go back to the head unit where the KTuner app is. All right, so I actually disconnected the cable now and I unplugged the OB2 and plugged it back in. So now we're going to turn it on to accessory mode. Hit it again. Now we're in accessory mode. So now we're gonna go to the Ktunerview app. Whoops. We're gonna go over here. We're gonna click Ktunerview. We're gonna swipe it to the left. And then we're gonna go to connect, search devices. KTuner. So now, as you guys can see, it's connected now. You guys can see the ECT, the IAT, the PSI, the RPMs, air fuel ratio, PSI, TPS. Now that I got the KTuner on there, if I start up the car, I'm gonna click auto connect and then I'm gonna click KTuner. There we go. So if I rev it, you guys can see all the numbers and everything moving. So the best part about having KTuner is I'm still on the stock ECU. I have not jailbreaking the ECU at all. I haven't done anything, put a map on there or anything. I can still plug in the OB2, follow those same steps, and still have all of these readings still. So that is pretty cool. So as you guys can see, everything is moving. You can see it has like a little red where it stopped, the needle stopped. That's pretty sick. It can tell you how fast you're going. That is pretty dope. That is insane. All right guys, so right now we're in a Type R. I'm gonna show you guys the KTuner and all the readings. So I'm gonna turn it on to the accessory mode. Cool. So we're gonna go to KTuner real quick. Alright guys, as you guys can see, this is the Ktunerview app, and when you look at the middle gauge, it has the RPMs in the middle. As you guys can see, it goes up to 8K. The 0 is basically for neutral, and then of course it goes to 1 through 6. When you rev the car, it goes all the way up to that RPM, just like you will see the tach over here as well. When you rev it, it goes up to the RPMs, and then it leaves a little dash to show you how high the RPMs went, which is pretty cool. And then you have all your readings on the side right here. As you guys can see, you have your miles per hour, you have your ECT. ECT means your engine coolant temperature, so it will tell you your engine coolant temperature. And IET is your intake air temperature. Also, there is an IET 2 as well, so I'm gonna see if I can bring that up. Since I have 2 PSIs right there, I'm gonna change one of them to that. So you just hold down on that gauge, select, and then you choose which one you want. See if I can find the intake. Second intake air temperature. Sweet, there it goes. I wanted to add that. All right, so I'm gonna go over this again. So the big gauge in the middle, that is your RPMs. It goes all the way to 8. So when you rev your car, the needle will go up and it will leave like a little red dash to show you how high the RPMs went when you rev the car. Over here you have your miles per hour to show you how fast you're going. It is very accurate with the cluster. It's basically identical while you're driving. ECT means engine coolant temperature, so it will tell you how hot the engine is. That is pretty dope. And then IET is intake air temperature, so it will tell you the intake air temperature from the intake. So basically the temperature that's sucking the air in, it will tell you that before it hits the intercooler. IET2 is basically after it hits the intercooler, so it will tell you the actual reading of how the intercooler basically cool that air down to make it even a lower temperature. Which is pretty dope. So basically when the intake starts sucking the air in, it goes through the turbo, and then out through the turbo it hits the intercooler, and then when it comes out of the intercooler it hits another sensor, which is the IET2, and it tells you what the air temperature it is before it goes down into the engine. So that is pretty dope that it has 2 IET temperatures, the one by the intake that's sucking the air in, and then the one after the intercooler. So that is pretty sick and dope. And the AFR is basically your air fuel ratio, and this is how you basically tell if your car is leaning out or not. And then you have your TPS. So the TPS percent is basically your throttle position sensor. So basically how much throttle you're giving the car, it'll tell you how much the percentage is. So VBAT is basically your battery voltage. IGN is basically your ignition timing. And of course you have your RPMs. And then of course you have your PSI. Full throttle, it will tell you how much max boost pressure it is, if it goes all the way up to 23, 24, 25, 28, etc., etc. So that is pretty dope to be able to have all of these readings all the time, especially when you're driving. So I'm gonna start the car right now so I can show you guys something which is pretty neat. In my first video, when I was first driving the car, and I was talking to you guys about the braking procedures, and to be able to brake in the car you have to at least hit 600 miles, and for braking you have to at least hit 200 miles of basically braking the brakes. And they were also telling you about not damaging the turbo and making sure the turbocharger warms up, because basically the turbocharger is oil cooled and stuff like that. So that is pretty dope. So when we first turn on the car, you can actually see, so you can basically see the temperature going up. So let's go to KTuner real quick, and of course it's working right now. So I just started the car is completely cold right now. As you can see, it says -7. If I go over here by the one that comes in the car, it says the same thing as well. So -7, -7. So very accurate. If I rev the car, you guys can see where that red, it stops. That's as high as it went. And as you guys can see, the temperature is starting to go up. So that is pretty dope. So I was asking Jimmy when he helped me install the KTuner on the car, I say, hey, what's a good temperature to leave the car warm up to before you start driving? He said he usually waits till it gets up to like 150, and then he'll start driving the car, because the temperature gauge over here, it will be sitting here for 20 minutes and it will still be on, basically the needle will be on cold. I don't know if you guys can see that, but the needle will still be on cold for like 20 minutes. So the needle don't really move until you actually start driving the car, on most cars actually. So this gives you a great insight on basically when to start driving the car and if the car is warmed up. Usually when the car is warm, it's around like 176 at max, so that's pretty dope. Wanted to show you guys that, and you rev it, it shows you that. That is pretty sick too. But it tells you your air fuel ratio and everything, your ignition timing, your intake air temps. Pretty dope. So I definitely want to give a big shout out to Jimmy for helping me get the KTuner and helping me installing the KTuner. He helped me out a lot. If you guys want to check out his Instagram and follow him, I'll post it right here. And he just finished wrapping his Type R as well. His Type R looks crazy. He has a bunch of stuff done to his Type R. His Type R is on full bolt-ons and custom tune. Also, if you guys don't know what full bolt-ons is for the Type R, it's a little bit different than other cars. So full bolt-ons for the Honda Civic Type R is basically catback exhaust, front pipe, down pipe, intercooler piping, and then you have the intake box basically, and then you have the inlet for the piping for the intake. And also Jimmy had the HKS blow-off valve on there, so it sounds pretty wicked when it gets up there with the turbo spooling and everything. It sounds crazy. He recently just finished wrapping his Type R. He did himself, which I think is crazy for this car because this car has a lot of stuff going on. But he wrapped his Type R. It looks pretty good. I'm gonna show you guys how the car looks at the end of the video, so definitely check it out. We actually took a ride in his other friend's Type R that was actually blue, and was checking out the new exhaust that he got on there. And I was honestly, guys, I was honestly surprised when his friend did a pull in the blue Type R. I was in the passenger seat. It threw you in the back of the chair. He ran through the whole gear, hit rev limiter and everything. It was freaking crazy. So I was like, whoa, this thing is pulling. I'm like, is this stock? He was like, yeah, the car is stock. I was super surprised of the torque of the car, the way the car just throw you in the back of the seats. And it also had like that little warp speed effect to it as well. So it basically threw you back into your seat, and then you could hear the turbo spool up, and the car just kept, throughout the whole RPMs, you could just feel the car keep pulling, and it was not falling off at all. The car was pulling instantly, and he hit rev limiter, shifted, the car was still pulling you back in the chair. It was crazy. And I was like, man, and this car's pulling like that, and it is stock. That is crazy. It was coming up on the corner pretty quick, and I was looking at the little white stripes in the middle of the road, and I was like, how fast are you going? Because the car felt planted, but we were going pretty fast in the corner, and the car was handling the corner like a beast. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. The Type R has some insane handling. We went back to Jimmy's. He put on his new wheels, which you guys are going to see at the end of the video, and we lowered the car back down for after installing the new springs. And then we actually took a ride in his Type R with full bolt-ons and a custom tune. So we all got into Jimmy's car, and I was in the passenger seat again. So when he was running through the gears and he did a pull, it threw me into the back of the seat. So the car was pulling like crazy. He was running through the gears. You could hear the turbo spool up. It had like the instant warp speed already compared to the stock Type R. When it was just throwing you back in your chair, you could feel it, and then eventually you could feel like that warp speed. That warp speed was instantly, and it was basically just throwing you in the back of the seat. And I was like, man, holy snap, this thing is pulling, because the car was pulling. He was just running through the RPMs, and he bounced off the limiter, and you can hear it go boop, 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 boop. He shift into the next gear. The car kept pulling even freaking harder, and I was like, holy snap, this thing is moving. And then he was running through the gear, fourth gear, hit the rev limiter again, fifth gear, and I was like, oh shoot, this thing is fast. I was like, woohoo, screaming in the car. I was like, man, this thing is pulling. And I was like, man, this is full bolt-ons. I was so surprised on the way the car just threw you back in the chair, and the power never fell off. It just kept pulling even more. As high as the RPMs you go, you shift, hit off the rev limiter, shift into the next gear, the car was just pulling. It felt like you was in a roller coaster and the car was just pulling. It was crazy, man. It was crazy. I cannot oh man, this is bad. I cannot wait. Eventually I will get there, but of course there is no rush. Stock, this car definitely has a lot of power and it throws you back into your chair, but full bolt-ons and tune, it is freaking crazy, guys. It definitely throws you back in your chair, and that boost is like kicks in instantly. So that was freaking amazing. So definitely shout out to Jimmy for that. That was definitely an experience. Comment below, guys, do you guys think I should do full bolt-ons? If I do full bolt-ons, I'm gonna need you guys help. Honestly, if I do full bolt-ons, I need you guys to watch all the videos, share all the videos. I need you guys to watch all the ads, everything, because full bolt-ons is pretty pricey. But that's it for the video, guys. If you guys like this video, definitely smash the like button, and if you're new to the channel, definitely subscribe to the channel, because there's going to be a lot more content. As you guys can see, there's going to be a lot more content. I'm super excited to share with you guys what is coming for the channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can be notified, don't miss a video. That's it, guys. If there is anything that you guys want to achieve, find your inner drive, the thing that drives you to take a step toward your goals every single day, and make it happen. Peace.